You're listening to Systemic Era Podcast. The failure was designed.
Bitter feud threatens to doom Dems. An entrenched GOP in power for decades. Insider, based on an article by Adam Nichols. Democrats are trimming their own future. The Gatekeepers. The immediate story is simple. Progressives won primaries, the party establishment flinched, and the winning candidates were treated less like Democrats than like a contamination problem. Indeed, the Walton is pointing at a real power structure here. The people with institutional leverage are not the insurgent organizers or younger voters she is talking about. It is the party leadership, the senior members of Congress, the local machines, and the donors they answer to. That matters because power is not evenly distributed inside the Democratic Party. Chuck Schumer declining to endorse Zohran Mamdani, Hakeem Jeffries only backing him at the last minute, and Philadelphia's Democratic leadership backing other candidates against Chris Rabb are not accidents of temperament. They are decisions by people who control access, legitimacy, and money, the source of the panic. Walton's core argument is not that Democrats need more purity tests. It is that the party is treating the growing progressive wing as a threat to be managed instead of a base to be built. That is a bad strategy, even on its own terms, because the source material says the progressive candidates are winning primaries and drawing younger voters. The establishment response is revealing precisely because it is so defensive. When voters reward candidates running on health care, housing, and student debt relief, the party's answer should not be panic about socialists. It should be a hard look at why its own brand of politics is failing to persuade people who are entering adulthood with debt, high rents, and no realistic path to the old middle-class bargain. Fear as party discipline. Rahm Emanuel's complaint that progressives make blue districts darker blue is the old donor class argument in a new costume. It assumes the party's job is to endlessly triangulate toward imaginary moderate voters while ignoring the actual voters showing up in primaries. That logic is politically lazy and institutionally self-protective. More importantly, it treats left-wing organizing as a tactical inconvenience rather than evidence of a real constituency. That is how parties talk when their main goal is preserving internal hierarchy. They dress up refusal as strategy. They call movement energy too much because it threatens the people already seated at the table. A party without succession. Walton's sharper point is the one Democrats should be embarrassed to hear. There is no succession planning. There is no meaningful training pipeline. There is no serious effort to build the next generation of organizers and office holders who can speak to working-class voters without sounding like they are reading donor-approved talking points. That failure is not abstract. It is what happens when a party protects incumbents more aggressively than it recruits talent. It is what happens when a coalition confuses seniority with strength. And it is how a political institution slowly hollows itself out while pretending it is being prudent. The real split. The source frames this as a fight between the establishment and progressives, but the larger split is between a party that still believes in managed decline and a block of voters who want material results. Walton is right to say younger voters are responding to a populist message, not a branding exercise. The question is whether Democrats want to represent the energy or keep insulting it until its tension and disaffection do the damage for them. The deeper pattern is plain. When a party's leadership becomes more afraid of its own insurgents than of its opponents, it starts policing possibility instead of building power. That does not just weaken campaigns. It teaches voters that the institution is committed to preserving itself first and governing second. You've been listening to Systemic Error. Thanks to Raw Story for today's article with the automated voice of Liberts. Thanks for listening.